What is going on, everybody? And on here, and it's that time for this week's distribution update. And for those of you who aren't aware, I did a video last night on the fact that the GameStop eBay deal is a complete and total farce. A news article came out a little bit ago, and a bunch of uneducated dimmies went in the comment section. And they're like, "See, I told you this isn't going to age well." Well, they have a best efforts debt deal, which is $20 billion. And they have to convince eBay shareholders to take $37 billion of GameStop stock when the company is only valued at $11 billion, and $5 of which is net cash or cash net of debt. So it's DOA. And by the way, putting out an offer in a press release is not closing the transaction. So slowly rolls, Dimmies. Go back to whatever it is you do. Probably buying Flesh and Blood and playing that, and just watch this thing fall apart a lot faster than it came together. So anyway, let's get started here. So let's see, where do we want to start? Flesh and Blood. Rudy did a video on this today. I thought it was interesting to some extent, but quite honestly, and I've been meaning to do a video on this for a while. The reason why the game fails, and we have this new set coming out, I actually got allocated by PhD on this, which is fantastic because I didn't place the order. My rep placed the order for me. And he only ever magically places orders for stuff that I don't place orders for when it's garbage. When it's good stuff, he claims that I told him that I didn't want it ordered. But anyway, I digress. So this set's probably going to do not very well. But ultimately, to create value in the product here long-term, the sealed product, which is where all the problem is instead of cutting the legs off of your heroes that are dominating, you need to figure out a way to effectively buff your weaker heroes. So instead of taxing the rich, you give free shit to the poor. And that way you raise the level of competition of the lesser classes, and then you can do everything that you're currently doing. But quite honestly, I think it's a little bit more of a culture issue with New Zealand because the country's a little fucked up, quite honestly, if you've looked at the news recently. And I think it's a little bit more, I guess the word is that they're more liable to want to knock you down than lift people up. Anyway, it's not really a political thing, but it's, when you ban the good heroes, you smash the value of all the good cards. However, if you avoid banning all the good heroes, you bring them all back and you figure out a way to buff the weaker classes, whether that be, you give them a shield where they can take 2 or 3 hits and it's no damage. Or, for example, if you give them, like, instead of 40 hit points, they get 60 hit points or something. There's things that can be done there to make it a little bit more creative. But anyway, neither here nor there. So Godzilla, I'm going to talk about this because so many people hate it. I actually looked at the prices of these last night. The boxes for set 1 are $150, $115. The boxes for set 2 are pushing $70 to $75. Set 3 are $65. But yeah, it's performing really, really well. So there's not going to be a lot out for set 4. I think we ordered 100 boxes again. It actually sold really well for set 3. People seem to like it, but it's moving. Gundam. I do want to talk about this because there's some interesting things going on. GDO4, the set's selling very, very well. The organized play attendance is a little all over the board. I think it's becoming a lot more of a collector investor game than it is a player game. Now, again, it is early on. But the boxes are not super expensive, so I don't have a whole lot of issues there. It's interesting. It needs to develop a little bit more. And I think when we get GDO5, which is the anniversary set, and EBO1, which is a reprint specialty set, I think things are going to move a little bit better. But what I want to focus on is the set 3, GDO3, is about to pass sales for GDO2 in total. And we're starting to get close to that 5,500 box magical number between regular boxes and sealed cases that I love to talk about with Bandai, and it seems to work as well for Riftbound. where for whatever reason, that percentage of the market on TCG Player starts to be a trigger for the market to start to dry up and prices on this stuff to go up. So I think GDO3 is about ready to go up here pretty substantially. And I think once we get to this Mayhem sale for TCG Player on the 29th of May, it's going to be a good opportunity that if you want to own it, you can start buying it. For those of you who didn't see, Set 1 New Time Rising is at $300 a booster box, $295, I think. So that thing has performed astronomically well. Moving on to My Little Pony. Everybody knows I love My Little Pony. The boxes are selling well. The cards are beautiful. Just don't buy it. Don't worry about it. We're just going to move on. One Piece. Have not seen anything for OP18 yet, other than Hobbiesville take pre-sales for OP18 and I think OP19, which is absolutely crazy because now you're getting 2027. But we do have EBO5. Still not a whole lot of information out there unless I missed it this past week when I was on vacation. Orders are due in the next couple weeks. Make sure you get your orders in for this. I'm sure it's going to be a phenomenal set like all the extra boosters are. Moving on to Riftbound. A couple things here. So this weekend we had the pre-release of Unleashed. It looks like the pre-release performed quite well for every store I've spoken to, including ours. We had the same or a little bit better attendance than what we had for Spirit Forged, and quite honestly on par with Origins as well. So it looks like the set's gonna sell well. At least it was well received. We'll see. I did talk to somebody else who's going to be watching the video here who mentioned that they actually had somebody storm out of their store and throw a tantrum during pre-release, which I find absolutely hilarious. But I'll just keep it at that. The Origins reprint has started to land. Again, it's very light. Oh my God, it's probably... I'm just trying to quantify. It's probably sub 50,000 booster boxes for Origins. And a lot of the stuff is going to get shredded in local stores. It looks like almost all of distribution is prioritizing their organized play. There's some distributors I'm getting nothing from. There's a few where I don't have OP for, where I'm getting a couple cases. But it's certainly nowhere close to a normal release. And quite honestly, I think the print run is decent. One more thing back to League of Legends for Unleashed. These vaults, I don't think there's anything special to them, but there's so few of these printed. I'm just confused as to why they would do that. But look, we'll see with Unleashed here. I'm guessing the boxes probably bottom out at $135, $140. And as everybody's who pays any attention to TCG Player has mentioned, you have all these fake accounts that are just ripping TCG Player's face off with fraud. Right now, I know, or I've heard rumblings that there's a couple issues on a couple security sides, but these unvetted sellers, like, what are you guys doing? Like, do some sort of facial recognition. Like, it's 2026. Like, there's a million things you can do to keep all these fraudulent sellers off the site. And they're focusing on things like Riftbound, Origins reprints, Spirit Forged, all the hot sellers in One Piece, Gundam, Magic the Gathering collector boxes, Tarkir collector boxes from a year ago, Strixhaven commander decks, Lord of the Rings commander decks. They are absolutely everywhere. OP14, OP15, OP13, EBO3. They're everywhere in the platform like cockroaches, and it's really, really starting to drag on a lot of people that are just starting to get fed up with it, because I know they're getting their face ripped off and they're losing hundreds of thousands of dollars on it. And there's other people that, I mean, they're just getting fraudulent orders and their cash is locked up for weeks. It's just an overall really messed up situation that, quite honestly, I think they could do a much better job. But anyway, I digress. Sorcery, nothing new on Gothic here. Nothing really new on Arthurian Legends. I know. I think the three amigos are still getting product direct from Eric Curiosa, And I don't know if I mentioned this last week, but I saw a press release come out that apparently the company is now pushing you to buy through Team Covenant and Star City Games and Rudy. I thought there was another one in there. I don't know. I don't really care. But it seems like they're really trying to get away from distribution and get more direct to consumer, which again, they're from New Zealand. I don't think the mindset there fits here. The game's really cool. Is what it is. Let's see. Union Arena. Not a whole lot new here. I did see in Japan, they just came out with an Eminence and Shadow set, which is really, really interesting because you see a lot of the IPs with Union Arena, Mirror Universes, and then also Mirror Weiss. And a lot of times they borrow the same art, which is kind of crazy. But more importantly, I think as we get through here, is it Sakamoto? It is not Sakamoto. I think it's the one after this. And I look at this every time. Every time I mention this, time I got reincarnated as a slime. Yep, this is brick and mortar restricted. So we have one more set, and then this just goes straight to B&M. So at that point, I think the boxes are going to absolutely skyrocket. So just keep an eye out for Union Arena. Moving on, Yu-Gi-Oh! I really don't normally talk about this one, but with the Rarity Collection 5, there have been like 8,000 boxes that have sold on TCG Player. And I know Yu-Gi-Oh! Is always noted as one of the big three. I've never really paid that much attention to the volume because when I looked at the rest of these crappy boxes, it's like 2,500 boxes, 3,500 boxes. But it looks like they may have potentially turned the corner here. Now, I think Legend, Battle of Legend Glorious Gallery, Battles of is the first set that has serialized cards. So, yeah, this Blazing Dominion booster box is probably dead on arrival. But once you get here, it would be interesting to start paying attention to this to see is there follow through on pricing support or pricing of boxes and some support levels, unlike anything we've seen in the last 2 years here, which hopefully there is. Again, it's in all of our best interest to have healthy games. And hopefully Konami has figured out something that the Flesh and Blood folks haven't. So moving on to Weiss Schwarz, this is very, very important. It's not showing up on the website yet, but Nikki Volume 2 is going to be released in Japanese and in English at the same time. It looks like it's going to be a mid-September, actually September 18th. So presumably right around the same time as 30th anniversary for Pokemon. And I know some idiot in the comment section is going to say, no, it's going to be October. It is not October. It's going to be September because ME06 is a November release and specialty sets for anniversaries. And 151, they always come out in September. So you have a nice spacing between the sets. So it is most likely going to be September 16th, which is that Wednesday, because that's what they've done in the past with especially anniversary sets. But it looks like Nikki Volume 2 is going to come out the exact same week. So that's going to be interesting. Now, as of right now, I don't know if they're going to be AGRs, which are your autograph rares, in English as well as Japanese. I'm not sure. I hope to get that information this week because it's going to be super interesting. And, honestly, the first Nikki set performed very, very well. And I'm hoping that we're far enough removed from the memory of folks who bought Nikki and just watched it kind of languish there after the second reprinting of first edition to the point where they don't order it, which would be great. But anyway, that being said, let's hit Magic next. So for those of you who haven't seen, Dan Frazier's kind of the patsy here with the One Ring snafu, where it's clearly a mirror image of the ring. I don't know what happened there. I don't know how any of the AI identification controls, presumably that Wizards have in place, didn't find it. But either way, it's neither here nor there. All of the Hobbit SKUs have been released. They are up for sale on some of the distributors. I would imagine everybody else is going to show up Monday or Tuesday. Obviously, the set doesn't come out until I think it's early August 1st, something like that. But it does look like we do not have commander displays. So I will implore you, when The Hobbit comes out, the Lord of the Rings commander displays that just got reprinted a couple months ago, they will be on absolute fire. Now is your last chance to get them, because I would be shocked if they're not pushing 350, maybe even $400 by that point in time. Because again, there's no commander decks with Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit. So what do? You go back in time and you play with these. That being said, it looks like Smog is going to be the headliner, non-serialized. This is a red version or a red card. Seems like they're just going through the color palette, which is cool. They also talked about Reality Fracture. Looks like it's going to be a black card that's going to be serialized in the set. It looks like there's only one commander deck for that, like Turtles, which is pure garbage. But they do have 5 new Foundation starter decks, but the cost in those is $78. So those are really like the starter 2022 version 2.0. So I have no idea what to think about those. But since the price point's so cheap, I think it's sub $25 from distribution, or $20 even. Because I don't know if it's 4 or 5. I think it's 5. 5 for sub $100, which is super cheap. But that's coming out as well. And then I have heard rumblings that there's going to be a Hobbit holiday edition. So you heard it here first. In my mind, it's gonna happen. It's a stone cold lock. We all know it. We all think it. So let's just pretend it's gonna be here. But with Marvel, real quick, I've gotten 2 of my allocations, and it looks like play is down a little bit from Strixhaven, so they've tightened it up quite a bit. Collectors are down about the same. Call it 10%, maybe 7%. But commanders are a little bit more difficult to get. The collector commanders seem like they're on par ratio-wise with Final Fantasy. The beginner boxes are through the roof, and I'm guessing that's because not a whole lot of people ordered them. I think what's the most interesting is Jumpstarts. So for Avatar last year, I got multiple 100 boxes of Jumpstart. I ordered a ton of them, and quite honestly, I only have 50 boxes across 2 distributors, which is not a lot at all. So it looks like the Jumpstarts, for whatever reason, they're not pushing a whole lot of it out at release. So we'll see what's going on with that. Scene boxes are normal. The gift bundles, looks like there's a healthy amount of those. And the regular bundles, I'm guessing they push those out about the time that Star Trek comes live. Probably the same time we get the Strixhaven ones. So Strixhaven bundles haven't landed at distro yet. It does look like the last wave of commander decks started to arrive at distribution Thursday, Friday this past week. So at least we'll have those. But this bundle situation with Strixhaven is an absolute disaster. So other things with Magic, I'm still tracking Wilds of Eldraine set, Ixalan set, and All Will Be One set reprints for sometime here in the end of Q2. I think, as I mentioned, Mexican distributors have had a May-June release date on the pre-orders that they had taken a couple months ago. But it did not include anything for Final Fantasy. So again, I think Final Fantasy is Q4, as I mentioned before. And Lord of the Rings set box reprint looks like it's going to come out around the same time as The Hobbit in Q3. So that being said, Edge of Eternity's commander decks are getting really, really thin at distribution. Bloomburrow's gone. So Edge of Eternity is probably the next one that's gonna get be sold out. So word to the wise there. Moving on, let's go to Pokemon. Where's Pokemon? I guess it's under P. So 30th anniversary starting to print here shortly, which is gonna be awesome. But we have Chaos Rising coming out in a couple weeks. Again, I'm still waiting on a couple allocations for this, but it looks like net there's a healthy amount of this out there. I do not have any ETA for Wave 2 of Mega EX boxes or booster bundles for Ascended. I would imagine it's probably going to be 3, 4, 5 weeks. But as far as I know, Ascended is done printing till after 30th anniversary. So what's printed for Ascended right now is going to be all that's printed until November, unless something changes. So that's both fantastic if you own Ascended and terrifying if you don't at the same time. Moving on, Mega Moonlit tins and Lumio City tins. It looks like there's a healthy supply of this. Now it looks like every time we get one of these tin sets or one of these EX boxes, we get like an extra 5-7% of these into the market. So things are increasing here fairly substantially. First Partner Illustration Collection Series 2. Looks like the total amount of these in the market is almost identical to Series 1. Mega Lucario Battle Decks, not much to see there. The Greninja Premium Collection, I don't know too much about it yet. It does look like most of the packs here are Chaos Rising, and I don't know if it's Phantasmal. It's something weird behind it. And I do know that there's a product coming out that's going to have a bunch of Destined in. I don't know what it is yet. But then we have all the Pitch Black SKUs out here, same as usual. Do not have any allocations yet. I hope to get the first one here in hopefully the end of this week. Just to see if there's I'm guessing there's about the same as there is Chaos Rising. But we'll see. And then again, September we have 30th anniversary, which is going to be absolutely phenomenal. And I actually went back and looked at celebrations because it's been so long, and I had totally forgotten that celebrations are 5-card packs. So smaller packs, more packs in ETBs, which completely shuffles the deck. So just some food for thought there. Since I think a lot of folks just either weren't around back then or had completely forgotten about the fact that the pack configuration was different. And presumably, maybe that's why the pricing is a little bit different. Who knows? But anyway, guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the Discord, and have a great Sunday.